What is happening, my people? What is happening, my people? This is Shahir Yashub from the Truth Be Told Flex podcast. I'm just dropping in to let our subscribers know that we'll be back next week. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that will be the 10th. Few of us on the podcast had personal issues, so in respect to life and personal issues, we decided to take a couple of weeks off. But we will be back next week. I just wanted to drop in and let the people know that, and also to let you know that when we come back, we're going to talk a lot about the cocktail. We're going to have a heavy dose on the cocktail. We're also going to talk a lot about the hangover within itself. So we got a lot to prepare for. We got a lot to get ready for. As anybody can see, the days that we're living in, they're not getting any better. In fact, if we were perfectly honest with ourselves, we would see that, that it's deteriorating. So with that being said, I must ask the question of what are you doing to prepare yourself? I believe, although this is not a religious show, anybody that watch the show know that me and the brothers that do the show, we are firm believers of the word of the Most High. And with that being said, I truly believe that the spirit of the Most High is departing, not just from America, but from all of earth, which means that in these years that are coming up on us, in these weeks, in these months, in these years that are coming up on us, with the spirit of the Most High starting to depart from men, we are going to see a lot of strange things. We're going to start seeing things that we've never seen before in life. So all of the practices and exercises and all of the studying and all of the praying that we have done in the past, we are now living in a time where it's for us to execute. There's no more practice. We are now in the game. We are in the game, and we're about to see how strong our faith is. The righteous has never been forsaken, nor his seed begging for bread. So if you stand firm and if your faith lasts, you're going to be okay. We have got to be very careful as well that we do not let the media divide homes. They make it sound as if it is a Democrats against Republicans or Republicans against Democrats. They blame Trump for, what they say, the 500,000 lives that were lost last fall up until here recently, up into January. They say that it was his fault because of his poor handling of the hangover, and they did not take it serious. Well, they're doing the same thing now. It is important that we live in households that are on the same page. A house that is divided against itself cannot stand. People that we love now, people that we trust now, meaning our loved ones and our friends, they could very well become our enemy in the years to come. And I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. This is a special edition as well, to let you know that we will be back. And I'm also just talking a little bit. This is not going to be a full show whatsoever. I'm going to be in and out of here. I just wanted to touch bases with my people. Let them know that we love you guys, and that we will be back, and that we have missed you guys as well. But back to what I was saying, that is that They are doing a masterful job of dividing households. Just think about some of the conversations that you have had with not co-workers, but family members and friends. It's divided right down the line. They are drawing a line in the sand, and people are deciding, people are choosing. So let's say that you stay in a household where you are anti-cocktail, but there are individuals in your house that is pro-cocktail. You are anti-mask. There are individuals that are in your house that is pro-mask. You believe that it's a pandemic, but there are individuals in your house that believes that it is a pandemic. Well, the way the media is working, those that are listening to what they are being fed through these major media circuits, they are making them to believe that it is the anti cocktail, he that believes that it's a pandemic, he that believes that he does not want to wear a mask because I'm walking around with saliva and mucus in my face all day trying to breathe. That can't be healthy, right? Just thinking about it, it can't be real healthy. They're going to make those people believe that it is our fault. Whether they are in your household or not, whether they are your people or not, whether you love them or not, these people are going to believe that it's your fault. It's your fault that people are still dying. It's your fault that we can't get back to normalcy. It's your fault that the emergency rooms in the major cities are still overpopulated when no one has really been able to prove that to be the case. So it's important, back to what I said, it's important that you live in a house of people that are on the same page. Please pay attention to the conversations that you are having. I'm going to play a couple of clips here from The View this morning. I don't own rights to either one of these clips. These are a couple of clips from The View, one from Sunny and one from Whoopi. And sometimes a lot of this stuff in the media has to be, it has to be decoded. So let's listen to Sunny on The View. This is what she had to say.
And so I will say, when you look at the folks that are not getting vaccinated, because it's a quarter of Americans that aren't getting vaccinated, white evangelicals, 45% say they won't get vaccinated, according to a Pew Research. Republicans, almost 50% of Republicans are refusing to get the vaccine. So we won't reach herd immunity because of those particular groups. So I say we need to shun those that refuse to get vaccinated. Just like now in certain states, many states, I know New York, there are signs on storefronts, on businesses all across the state, no mask, no entry. I think if you have not been vaccinated, no entry. You want to get on a plane? You got to be vaccinated. Show proof of vaccination. And those people that don't want to get vaccinated, then that's fine. That's fine for you. But then you can't spread it to other people that are vaccinated. You can't spread it to other people rather that are also not vaccinated. Then you don't get those other liberties that come with immunity. It just, something has to break. If that's your personal choice not to get vaccinated, you don't then get to infringe on the rights of those who have chosen to protect their fellow citizens.
So as I was listening to this morning, there was a lot of things that she said that jumped out at me. The View is a nationally syndicated show that comes on ABC early in the morning. My first question to myself was, how's The View? And I'm sure that number is well up in the millions. And so Sunny, with her huge following of those individuals that watch The View, early in the morning, she just blamed a quarter of Americans that are not getting the cocktail for being the problem. Remember, I was saying that it's important that those of the same household be on the same page. This right here, her message to the millions of viewers is that we need to shun those who will not take the cocktail. That's media programming. Early in the morning before your day start, this is the message that you hear. So as you go through your day, you looking at individuals that are about doing their daily business, and those that do not have those that do not have a mask on, you're looking at those individuals. It's like, yeah, that's the problem right there. These are the ones. These are the ones. This is why we can't get back to normalcy. This is why, you know, sport arenas are not full right now. And with that, I just heard just a few minutes ago that the Milwaukee was giving away vaccines at the game. Salakia, the cocktail. They were issuing out the cocktails at the game. You come in and you could get in line and get your cocktail and then go watch the game. It is these people. How can you say, and I, I can see how you can say it, but how can you say we need to shun them, but the same media outlet that allows you to say that we need to shun them will not give anyone else an opportunity to come and debate what you think? Because that's what you said, Sonny. You said, I think. What's even crazier to me with this is that she's supposed to be cocktailed up. What's the point of getting cocktailed up if you still wear it? Why? I have bad tires on my car. I'm nervous when I'm driving in the rain because I'm not getting good traction. But if I stop by Discount Tires and I buy 4 new tires, I could drive head on in the rain and not worry about it. Why? Because I now have protection. For those who think that the cocktail work, why worry about us who don't want the cocktail? You did your job in protecting yourself. You're cool. Even though they still telling you that now that you got this cocktail in you, that you still wear a mask. And there have been several cases that have came with individuals that received the cocktail that still got tested positive. How? With a hangover? How? I don't know. The cocktail is so great, right? But why is it that you feel that if I go down the same route as you go down, that I don't take the same position that you take, that we need to be shunned? This is where full total control is going to come into our lives. Because what's happening right now is that those who wanted the cocktail and who was waiting on the cocktail, the majority of those people have already gotten it. Now they're dealing with the number of people who are both skeptic and those who say that they're not taking it at all. And now they have run into a problem because now they have to figure out a way on getting those people cocktailed up as well. They have lowered the age as well to 12 years old, when there is nothing that is proven that anyone that young has a problem with receiving their deadly hangover. They saying that this is due to ensure herd immunity, but my personal opinion is that 500,000 was a set number, and 80 to 90% of the population is a set number as well. It's not FDA approved. It was allowed to be given to the people on the emergency um, use authorization, which is called a EUA. They were able to go by the FDA because of the pandemic, an emergency health risk, which means it means that they have absolutely no term studies on what the medications or the technology that is in these cocktails, what it's going to do to people. So, so in all reality, we're lab rats. And so all of those people who went and lined up for the cocktail, happy with those, and the number of adverse reactions, people, is high. It's very high. These are things we're going to get into when we come back next week. It's high. It's very. A lot of it should be making national news, but it's not, because a lot of this stuff, if you knew what this cocktail was doing to individuals, it would scare people off. I don't understand how you have parents that are allowing their children to get something that is not proven and tested to be put into them, but they are. So back to my original point, that we must be careful that we do not let the media divide our homes. We cannot allow the media to divide our homes. Um, Never take for granted someone else's position. Talk about it and be firm on what it is that you believe. I'm me myself. Look, if you want the cocktail, hey, more power to you. I I don't think of you one way or the other. That is your personal opinion. You don't have a problem with being a lab rat. That's cool, right? Take one for the team. But she said that we need to shun those who will not take the cocktail. She also said this was funny. If you decide that you don't want it, that's your personal choice, but you can't spread the people who has taken the cocktail. And that's what don't make sense to me. What do you take the cocktail if you're still scared? Why are you still looking at me like I'm crazy? Right? If you got the cocktail and I don't have a mask on. If you are in a school with individuals that don't have the cocktail and you cocktailed up, what are you worried about? Why are you still scared to go to school? And that brings us to what Whoopi has to say here. Listen to this.
But at some point, it becomes about what is good for the country. And we're seeing that what's happening in India, we've lived through that already. We know, and we're seeing sort of the responses our country is having to our ability to get vaccinated. People desperate to get vaccinated in different places around the world would, would crawl here to get this vaccine. Now, it's not rocket science. This is what we have. We remember when measles wasn't an issue and then it became an issue because people stopped vaccinating their kids, and then we had nothing but measles outbreaks. There is something to be said for paying attention to that. We need to do this, and it's not going to allow us to be without masks until we all do it. Because quite frankly, I'm not going outside until I know everybody outside has had the shot. So I'm going to be wearing my mask probably, into my 90s. That's just me, though.
So several things that Whoopi said here that got me. She started off with, at the very beginning, I'm gonna restart this. She says that
But at some point, it becomes about what is good for the country. And we're seeing that what's happening in India, we've lived through that already. We know, and we're seeing sort of the responses our country is having to our ability to get vaccinated.
So she said what is good for the country, and she used what is happening in India as an analogy. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to ask a question, and I want you to think about this question. How do we really know what's happening in India? How many of you have physically been to India yourself to see that what they say is happening in India is really happening in India? I'm here in America, and I question that what they said and say is happening here is even really happening here. I'm not going to lie. I was one who would drive by hospitals last fall during the prime of this, looking and trying to see for myself, are they really as full as they say that they are? And my eyes was not giving me the same message that my ears was giving me when I listened to the media. So how do we know? How do we know that what they say is happening in India is really happening in India? They're doing their job. Remember that. Whoopi and Sarah and Sonny and Megan on this show, along with every other show, CNN and Fox, they're all doing their job. The right wings on the Fox, they can make it sound like, that they're so conservative and that, that these things are anti-constitutional and that we just want our lives back. When you listen to them, they always revert right back to the same thing of make sure you get cocktailed up. They just do it a little bit differently. Make sure you get cocktailed up. And she said, what's good for the country? Well, we know that we have never been good for the country. And this is why they have always been trying to exterminate us. Which makes me also second guess the cocktail as to if I want to put it in my body or not, which I know that I don't. So think about that and never forget that. The third thing she said is that she is going to wear her mask until everybody has got the cocktail in them. That's where we left off at, right? Why get the cocktail if you're still scared to walk out of the house with the mask on? It makes absolutely no sense at all to me. When you find anything about any of this that makes sense, please let Shir Yeshub Judah know. Because none of it makes sense to me. You go to a restaurant, they have little plexiglasses up that divides this table from the table right behind you, as if it's an airborne virus, what they say that it is, right? Is this little thin plexiglass that you got dividing me from this individual over there? Is this is going to keep it from going over there? It makes absolutely no sense. Makes no sense. So you make your mind on what it is that is best for you. But one of the best things that you can do for yourself is that you can study, do research, come up with your own information. And by no means do I want anybody to believe anything that they hear from this show. You research it for yourself. This is Shir Yeshub Judah from Truth Be Told Flex Podcast. We took 2 weeks off. We will be back next week. And this here was just a little sit down, just a little bit, talk to the people. Can't wait to see you next week. And like I say, we're going to get into a lot of information on the cocktail and on the hangover. And we're also going to talk about what's really going on in India. This is Shir Yeshub. Please hit that bell, subscribe, hit the like button. We're out. See you this time next week.